I'm Stefan, and this is my AE86. Misery. It's the best way to explain it. It's 3 years of working most nights and weekends, building it to how I wanted it. Different engine, different suspension, basically a competition car. And I don't want to do any competition. Fun. So that's it. I basically looked at it as if it was like Gran Turismo and just max everything on that card. That's the way I looked at it for doing a build. Like, if you're going to do it, you may as well not half-arse it and go all out. So it's an AE86. It's got Sylvia front and rear suspension, and it has a K24 turbo with a BMW gearbox. It was a 5-speed. I'm currently in the middle of converting it to an 8-speed automatic, which probably most people wonder why I would want to do that, but you can basically turn it into sequential and have a clutch pedal and a switch, so it works like a manual. So basically it's a K24 bottom end with a K20 head. It was roll and roaded with a Precision 58, I think it was. And it made 400, but it was spinning in 5th gear, so I don't actually know what it makes. But I found out, so it was a 1.2 bar, but I found out that so basically it got mapped, started driving it, and I kept hitting boost cut. Because the wastegate wasn't very well positioned on the manifold, so I changed the manifold and I decided to go for a Pulsar G3770. When I did that, I took a little turbo up and realised it was a 0.48 hot side, so probably choking it if anything, so it would have made a good bit more power with a bigger hot side. But it was very punchy. It was a nice setup, to be fair. It kept hitting boost cut and it was driving me mad, so I thought I may as well upgrade. So I went from a 40mm Turbo Smart to a 50mm, and it's a wastegate priority manifold, so and it's all run by a ECU Master Black, and it's also on a PMU as well. So the gearbox, I mean, in an ideal world I wouldn't mind going for a built engine. One of my friends that's local that builds turbo Hondas actually offered me his engine, and I was going to buy it because it's a fully sleeved block. It's good for 1,000 horsepower, which I'll never need, but like, it's always nice to know you have that possibility. But I think he's changed his mind because he doesn't want to let go of it, because he's had it for like 5 years and it's never let him down, so like, that's fair. And I would like to go for a built engine eventually, but for now I'll just keep it as it is and just the 8-speed box, I think. So I was going to be one, but I managed to get one from Gav Bay, who's built a 4-wheel drive RX-7 FD. So yeah, he was changing up because he's made it 4-wheel drive. The manifold was hitting off his diff, so of course I slid into his DMs and asked if he would sell it. So I actually bought the Pulsar off of him as well, because he deals with them, so I just waited until he was willing to sell the manifold before picking up the turbo, because I knew there would be a day it would come. So yeah, I've got that from him. So I basically sold the gearbox setup to one of my mates, Bart, who's also case swapping his A6, and I'll take the blame for making it. And I've got the adapter and the gearbox for the new setup. I just need to buy the ECU to control it, which is a turbodynamic, and I need to buy the sequential shifter, and then it will be a case of getting it going for next summer. So the rear subframe on the cage was done by Dan McNamara. A lot of the brackets and stuff has been done by me, and some of my friends have helped out with stuff. One of the lads, he's done some of the alloy welding of the work, because I've not actually done alloy welding before. It's all stainless stuff I do, so yeah, he did that for me. But a lot of other stuff I've just done myself into this shed, so it's pretty much built in this shed. So I have owned it 3 years, I think. So initially I sent a shell over to Darren to get done. It was fuck. So basically he messaged me and he was like, this shell is a write-off. Either get another one or we'll just call it quits. And I sourced a shell from a guy called Bob Slevin in Ireland. He was living in Australia at the time, but every so often he would import cars to break them. So I got this shell from him and it got delivered to Darren without me even seeing it. So like Darren did all the work. I'd never even seen the shell, and I went and picked it up and took it back home. And when I got it, it was literally standard front lanes. It had the bonnet, but it was a run-free bonnet, which I'll get into later why I had to change it. The back part, the doors came as well because they're fiberglass. The boots fiberglass. The whole rear end's fiberglass. So basically, it came with all the fiberglass panels from Darren, and it was white. And obviously, I've painted it Millennium Jade. So, honestly, there used to be a R34 GTR NUR that used to go to like car meets in Aberdeen, and I absolutely hated it. I thought it was terrible. And then when I was in Thailand visiting my dad, I saw an EG Civic in Millennium Jade, and I was like, that's the colour. So I've got to thank anyone for helping, I guess. Well, Dad McNamara for the stuff he did. Gino, who helped, he painted it. Anyone that's done any fabrication, a pal Stuart, and a pal Jack, and myself. Not that back to myself. I've put myself through misery with this thing. And I guess just anyone else that's helped that I can't think of off the top of my head, which is terrible. But yeah, me and my friend Gino, we're actually in the middle of trying to organise a drift week for Scotland next year. So I think we're limiting it to 20 cars, and I don't know the full ins and outs of it yet. We haven't fully found out everything, but we'll be announcing it, and I think it's going to be around May. So, no. Yes, May. May. And one of the days will be at the track that me and Gino run, which is NED6. So I'm Stefan Boyne, and this was my